Is the game showing up alright on stream? It looks like it is on OBS. Just, it's always worth checking. Here's the music now as well. By the way, Mech, you should give me mod and editor roles so I can change tags, game, and title. I'm okay managing for myself for now, but I'll definitely consider it in future. I did set up the command with MooBot, so that is a thing moderators can do. Right, what are we doing in CK3 then? I think we're probably maybe starting a new game, because I said I'll name the characters after viewers. Yeah, I did say that, so I'd rather do that in a new game. I do sort of want to try a new Cornwall game and try and form Prydain again, but it would feel a little bit awkward to do that without the Lollardy emotes yet. What do you reckon, Hoy? Should we start a Cornwall game in CK3? Cornwall. Let's go. I'll take that as a yes then. It's got to be 867, hasn't it? Because England hasn't formed yet. Oh, you think 1066 England? Start as a vassal? Well, I can have a little look first. We don't have to go straight in. I'll have a little peek at who it is and what the situation is like. If memory serves, I'm not sure if the vassal in Cornwall is even Cornish, but I might be misremembering that. Start as Harold. I'm not starting as Harold. It'd be as this guy. Not do vassal. Why not? Do Harold or Cornwall. So you're saying either Harold Godwinson in 1066 or just Cornwall in 867. Is that what you're saying? Cornwall over it, yeah. Alright. I'll do Cornwall then, because I don't really want to play as Harold, because it's a little bit too easy if you ask me. Even if he does have to fight off William the Conqueror, as a player, you can manage that. So I'll just do Cornwall. It'll be the same as CK2 when we played that. I say we. I was hesitant to change game from Half-Life to CK3 because I knew I would lose a couple of the viewers that were here for Half-Life, but I really want to stream some CK3, so hopefully other people will turn up for this. So here it is, King Dumnarth II ab Prydain of Cornwall. He is a Duke rank character, which is nice. And like I was telling you yesterday, Hoy, I think, or maybe it was the day before, I can't remember, in the test stream, I have actually done a Cornwall game in CK3, not fully to the extent I did in CK2, but I did it enough that I formed a kingdom and then got bored. But, that was a while ago now, so I'm up for a new game. I did remember, though, just now, that I was planning on looking through the new, dev log diary thing for the newest update, because apparently they did a patch, because we're on 1.7 for CK3. They did a 1.7.1 patch. Enjoy game, I need to rest now. Pew pew pew. Okay, well, thanks for joining us, Godslayer. It was a pleasure to have you again, and I appreciate the help you gave yet again. You have a good rest, and possibly see you tomorrow. Make actual Cornwall capital, not Devon. Yeah, I actually did that in my Cornwall game as well. I didn't even just make it like that, which is the county capital. I made it Tintagel, just because that's the OG capital of even pre-Roman Cornwall. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was going to suggest we could look through the dev diary thing and just look through the patch, see what's changed, if there's anything interesting. That shouldn't take long. I actually have it open as well, because like I say, I was planning to do that. We'll just have a quick scan. See what's going on. So you should be able to... Hang on, let me... Yeah, I've got that black bar covering my bookmarks. You even know the names, also lower the culture thingy. Know the names. I'm not sure what you mean, sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look through this changelog. You can see if anything sticks out. So, AI changes. AI no longer hire and fire cop position in the same decision cycle. I didn't know that was a thing. Let's have a quick look. Slightly relaxed requirements for reviving Taltoism to make it not entirely impossible in 1066. Taltoism is the, I believe that's the religion what the Magyars follow before they conquer Hungary. So that's quite interesting. That's an idea for a game. You could do like a pagan revival as the Kingdom of Hungary in 1066. That's a good idea for a game. Bunch of Crusade targeting fixes. Fix crashes related to loading save files from previous game version. That's always nice. Crusade targeting again. AI house members in feuds will now be much more likely to start schemes against their enemies. That's good. Feuds, which I don't know if you know this, Hoyer, a new thing they added in like the new update or DLC, I can't remember which happened between two different houses, and it makes them... It is basically what it says on the tin, it's a feud, so you start doing like a lot of schemes and you have like hostility with the other house. So it's nice that the AI will actually do stuff in that feud now. More reluctant to allow feud enemies to raise their children, okay. Join scheme against feud house members, more feud stuff. Okay, so it seems like they have just redone... Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Seems like they have just fixed feuds in a big way, which is quite handy. Fixed feuds. Okay, I mean, it was only like a small patch, so I wasn't expecting anything major. It is pretty cool that there's the thing about Taltoism, though. That is interesting. Yeah, it's just loads of stuff about crusades and feuds, really. Okay, I mean, it was worth a look anyway. I'll put it back on the game now. Right. Cornwall. Let's check the game rules. Gotta play an Iron Man. Can't not play an Iron Man. I'm going to put in my normal settings, so hybrid culture and divergent culture frequency are going to be less common. They do still appear, but it's, you know, not everywhere, so it isn't silly. And I prefer that. Other things I have are Hungarian migration set to random. Scandinavians only try and conquer areas every 10 years rather than default 5. About the bookmarks, are you scared you dox yourself again on Google Maps? Not really, I don't have like anything to hide on my bookmarks, like I had a look over. I just think it's nicer if the focus is on what I'm trying to show rather than my bookmarks. And if I do add a new bookmark or something and I don't think about it, it's, you know, I don't have to worry about that. The music that's playing right now, I like to think of this as the spiritual successor to Viking Gods, because it's got a lot of the, you know, the I spirit to it. Oh, look, it's even called Prydain from the start, and that is because we are House Cornwall, but the dynasty is Prydain. It is meant to be. I always, like, never zoom in enough. I always forget that these, like, coat of arms actually show up on the map when you're in the house map mode. I'm always, like, zoomed out to this level. It's pretty cool that you can see the Carolingian Empire, though, like, still like this. How is the volume, by the way? Do I need to turn it down? I think the music could probably do, like, down to there. That's probably better. We are not a great character. 0 diplomacy, 1 martial, 1 learning. Then our best traits are average at best. 8 stewardship and 11 intrigue. We're ambitious, but that doesn't matter because attributes or traits, whatever, are still very low. This is not a good character. We'll have to try and groom our heir to be better. He's already inclined towards stewardship, so he's probably going to be good at that. I'll wait until he gets his first trait before I pick an education, though. The health is fine. You know, even our, like, son, who is 1 year old, he's also fine, so we're not really weak either in health. I mean, we could just go for stewardship because it's already half done and it's the fastest one we can learn, so I think I will. I'm just going to focus on money. I think the best choice we have for our early game is to money up, buy buildings, get upgrades, and play tall, I guess, at the start. We're not married. I think our priority for marriage is to get a strong alliance. Gwynedd, which I think is actually pronounced as Gwyneth, because I think in Welsh 2 Ds is a V sound. They've got just under 2,000 men. That's a pretty good alliance. Angria is in Germany. It's a bit far for an alliance. I'd rather have someone a lot closer. I think Wales is a good shout. 13-year-old, though, we'll have to wait like 3 years before we get our our spouse's share of attributes. I'm going to turn it down some more because it does still feel loud, doesn't it? Scheme a bit. Oh, I will in a little bit. I just want to make sure everything else is set up fine. Our Chancellor is dog shit. But we don't have many options for councillors, so... I say we want to prioritise Marshal and Steward. So... we will swap... I think that would be a really bad swap. Like, 5 Stewardship and 12 Intrigue would become 7 Stewardship, which would be nice, but 1 Intrigue, which is really bad. Honestly, it might just be best leaving it as is. The Chancellor doesn't really matter yet anyway, so whatever. Remember when you had that Welsh Tributary? I've had, like, Welsh Tributaries in, like, most of my CK2 games, because Tributaries are broken. We have an artifact, apparently. Oh, yeah, we have Excalibur, in inverted commas. There is nary a ruler in Britain who doesn't claim to have the true Excalibur. Wars are paid for by selling Excaliburs, and you must hope your guests don't catch another displaying the sword. Like, everyone does have an Excalibur in the start. Oh, he doesn't. Neither does he. Ah, I could have sworn, like, every ruler had an Excalibur. I guess not. Well, I got mine. It's okay. It's not the best artifact, but, you know, for a beginning artifact, it's nice. For, like, the knight effectiveness, the renown's good. But we can't exactly apply it yet because you need to be a king. Anyway, the capital, I agree that we should move it to Cornwall proper, because Devon is not true Cornwall. Fuck Exeter, we like Launceston. But what I was saying is that in my game what I played earlier this year, whatever, not only did I move the capital to this county, I then changed the county capital to the 2nd baronet in Tadgil, just because that's an older settlement. And like I said, I'm pretty sure before Roman times, the original like Celtic tribe in Cornwall, they were based out of Tintagel. Tintagel also had like a cool castle in the Middle Ages, but that wasn't built by this point. That was built later. So it just seemed like a cool place for a capital. Gameplay-wise, though, it is a pretty terrible capital. It's only got 3 slots. It's in the 2nd county of the duchy, so the capital, the actual de jure capital of this duchy, has the duchy building slot, so it's missing that. Tintagel video when. Don't care. Oh, trying to give you a nice little history lesson here, Hoy. Thought you'd appreciate it. Just for that little outburst, I might keep the capital in Exeter because I've noticed there's 3 spare holding slots where there's only 1 here. Mind you, this one is also good because you can instantly revoke oh god, can't speak. You can instantly revoke this barony for free because... Hang on. Now you can instantly revoke the barony for free because revoking baronies does not incur tyranny. So, bam, straight from the get-go, we have a third castle. Easy peasy. Welcome to the chat, Venidra. Venidra? It's a bit hard to read on my phone, sorry. Oh, Venidra. It's not an E, it's an A. It's good to have you, how are you doing? We're playing Cornwall today. Bit of a throwback to an older CK2 game we played a couple of years ago. Bit of a meme on the channel. Before I stopped streaming for 2 years. Doing good, how are you guys? I'm not bad. I streamed Half-Life 2 for 2 hours already before having a break, so well into the stream, I'm, you know, pretty comfortable. Before the stream though, today's pretty uneventful for me, but on the whole I'm alright, thank you. I'm guessing you've come here by the allure of having your name in the game, so I promise I'll get round to that shortly. It's just I've just started the game, so I'm doing the first, like, checks for everything. Ah, I didn't consider that we can have more options for our spy master because women are allowed this role, so we'll put her there. Even though she has +1 opinion of us, I am going to still sway her because I like to have a spy master that actually likes me. At +1, she's probably still going to join plots against us if there are any. For 1 year, then come back for 2 streams, then go again for 2 years. Yeah, it's worse than some YouTubes. I mean, it was just... I did a lot of streaming when I first started. Like, a lot more than even I realised. Like, I have, like, the achievement on Twitch for, like, 400 hours streamed, which is insane to me. And then, I guess I just burnt out from it. I did it, like, too much too quick all of a sudden while I was at uni at the same time. So I just lost all my motivation. So... yeah, I had a little break, but now I'm feeling up to it again. Who are dropping a video every year, gathering 5 million views and poof, gone. Internet historian is kinda doing it. Thanks for the follow, Venidra. Glad to have you on as a follower as well. It's very generous of you. You've only been here for, what, 2 minutes? Not gonna question it, though. On par with Lanky. Me? Hardly. Lanky did a lot better than me. Except, like, he killed his channel by doing Minecraft and building a base on Minecraft. A viewer base, I mean. As well as an actual base. But you're distracting me now. I'm meant to be playing the game, we've barely started, and I'm busy talking. I have hopes to see you once every few years. I appreciate that. Hopefully it won't be that bad. I am going to try and stream every day again, since I have a lot more free time since finishing uni. And I think I've got a good schedule plan now. I've started streaming at 6:30 in the evening for me, which is a good time for me. I think it's a good time for Europeans. And a bit far-fetched, but I think even East Coast Americans can probably catch it at this time. So what am I doing? I am naming my son and heir after Hoy. I'm sorry, Venidra, but Hoy was here first. Hoy's a long-time viewer, so he gets first dibs as the first character. Though I guarantee that the second character that we have appear, they're all yours. Hoy Blobvis is in the game. Hoy, you are 1 year old, you have no traits yet. And I will, of course, take the privilege of renaming the starting character after myself, as it is me. Taking Mechbots. There I am. At some random point, watch a uni project about Londinium. It wasn't Londinium, it was Viraconium Cornoviorum. Big difference. Yeah, the shield wall has grown. Back to the old by being killed by a knife in the back. Well, here's hoping that doesn't happen. I am going to move the capital to Cornwall, because now if we have an inheritance that splits the kingdom, we want this county, because then we get both castles. Whereas if we were here, our brother would get both castles. But I think that's like basically everything we have to worry about at the start of the game already done, so we'll just get playing, I guess. We do have a brother, actually. We can't rename them, though. I was going to give Venedra the position as our half-brother, Chancellor, and Knight, but I can't rename this fully grown adult other than myself, because I'm the main character. Because Mechbots has one learning. Seems about right. Ambitious, callous, impatient. I think ambitious is questionable, depending on the situation. Impatient, perhaps, again, depending on the situation. But I wouldn't say I'm callous. Being called both heartless and cold-blooded, Mechbots is indifferent to most. Not quite. We got the alliance to Gwynedd, which is nice. With that alliance, we could take on Wessex quite easily. Your dynasty... Ah, that's a point. So our dynasty has unlocked a dynasty legacy because we are not the dynasty head. We're the head of House Kernow, but not the head of the dynasty of Prydain. So we actually don't have a say in what dynasty legacies are picked. That honour goes to the King of Brittany, who is our very long-lost distant kinsman. Kinsman, not kingsman. That's, you know, the historical accuracy of that is questionable. I can see where they're coming from. I wouldn't say that they shared a common dynasty, Cornwall and Brittany, but, you know, Paradox can do what they want. So we're going to have to do a fair bit of work to become stronger than Brittany if we want to have a say in what legacies our dynasty get. We played this game on the free weekend, still got no clue. I mean, it's pretty cool that you gave it a go, but I completely see where you're coming from. Crusader Kings isn't really a game what you can just easily pick up on a weekend, even though CK3 is like a simplified version of CK2 in my books. It's still, you know, it's got that quite steep initial learning curve. I think it is fun though. Like, once you get a sense of what you're doing, once you like know how to play, it's, you know, you can get into a good flow and you can like have some really fun stories with some like interesting characters. Don't worry, this game is just incest and that's it. So goes the meme anyway. It has some historical thing that is Cornwall is more like Brittany than England. Well, I tried explaining it years ago when I was playing Crusader Kings. I explained that Brittany is named after the Britons because it became basically a refugee place for Britons escaping the initial Saxon conquest. So you had like the Saxons, Angles, Jutes, all like landing along the east coast, south coast, and they eventually pushed the Britons, the original Britons, which are like Welshmen, spoke a Celtic language, further west. So that's why you got Wales here, Cornwall there, and then a bunch sailed overseas and settled in Brittany. And then it's, I think it's a little bit disputed, but some even then went further and settled in Galicia somewhere in Spain here, but not to the extent of Brittany. And that's why Britain is called Brittany, because it's named after the Britons. If you want the game, you can get the Humble Bundle monthly choice to get it for $10 / what currency you have and other games to do too. That's a good shout, Hoy. It's a bit hard to say if you're enjoying a game, though, I imagine, if you don't know how to play it. So it depends how much you're willing to invest in learning it. Roadside stall. While travelling across the forest of the Earldom of Devon, I find a makeshift-looking stall by the side of the track. As I stop to take a look, a peasant by the name of Endelion jumps into action, trying to convince me to buy one of the small cross carvings she has on sale. I make them by hand, my lord. Each one takes me hours of work. I normally go for this evil option. I doubt this stall pays tax. Tear it apart, because I like free money and I don't care about the peasants. I think I'd make a good medieval king in that regard. Or we can like pay 50 gold, which we barely have, for a chance at an artifact, which is probably mediocre. I think we're just going to destroy her stall and steal everything she has. I moved the capital, good. Played some other Paradox games at least. That is a good step up. If you've played other Paradox strategy games, it's a bit like a gateway drug. Once you know one, it's a little bit easier to get into others. It's like a domino effect, I guess. Actually, that's a better analogy. You played Hearts of Iron and City Skylines. I like Hearts of Iron and City Skylines. I mean, I like all of Paradox's games, but City Skylines is cool as well. City Skylines barely, I like Paradox did. City Skylines is like made by a company that Paradox bought, so now it's under the name of Paradox, but yeah. I guess when Hoy asked like what Paradox game she play, he was probably expecting, oh well that was unexpected, look, we've become the new dynasty head of our dynasty. So I was saying we need to get stronger than Brittany to get that position. But it looks like Brittany has received an ass whooping from some Vikings, so now we have more men than them. So now we are stronger than them, so we are now the dynasty head. Easy peasy. Need to get back into City Skylines. Maybe I should do another stream on it. I tried it one time, didn't I, a couple of years ago? But I remember it didn't go too well. I really struggled to get into it. I didn't make anything that looked nice or even really worked. I just like gave up after like an hour. But in my own time, I've played it loads. I've got a couple 100 hours on it. I've really enjoyed some of the cities I've made. I don't like the direction these Vikings are coming in. These breast raiders. I mean, they're retreating, but they're going to like recover within my territory. So I'm just going to raise an army preemptively. We will send our marshal in charge of this army, and we will wait for them to arrive. Oh, they're immediately leaving. I don't think they're concerned. Point 4 is a bit more simple, I think, or I just didn't understand CK yet. Smack them. I was expecting them to start raiding me as soon as they finished retreating, but they didn't, so they are technically not hostile, so I can't actually smack the breast raiders. I didn't even check all these notifications. I need to sort these out. I think 13 opinions is probably fine for now from Spymaster. Even if there's a plot against us, it's going to be of ill consequence. So I'm going to sway the bishop instead to get his endorsement. Because if we have his endorsement, all the churches in our land that he controls will give us money and men. That said, I don't think we actually have any churches, so that doesn't... Yeah, we have no churches, that doesn't matter. Let's target our marshal instead, because he doesn't like us. Simple as. Point 4 is, I think, like one of the more simple on the surface, but recent it's getting a lot more hard to understand. Cough tanks and navy cough. I agree. Yeah, I think the recent updates for Hoi 4, or DLCs, I guess, and updates have definitely been adding a lot more depth to it, which I guess makes it more complex. I've always thought Crusader Kings were one of the more easy ones, to be honest, but it seems a lot of people disagree with that. I think it's just a matter of circumstance that Crusader Kings was the first one I learned, so it seemed the easiest for me. Your diplomat or chancellor is great. Yeah, I know he is, but you know who's an even better chancellor? Me. Zero diplomacy. He's like the best option we have because I can't, like, in good conscience swap the other councillors we have around because it'd just be even worse off. So if we swapped our steward with him, we would have the same amount of stewardship. Oh, okay, no, we can actually swap our steward. 1 and 5 will become 5 and 5. Our half-brother is now our steward, not our chancellor. I could have sworn it was... Oh no, I was comparing the Spymaster before, wasn't I? 1.1k hours on Hoi 4 and refusing to learn Navy. I don't fully understand the Navy, but I like to pretend I do. I like playing around with the Navy and making cool looking fleets and doing ship designs, but I don't think they work well at all. Lord and ladies, please be nice to my ruler. Thanks, that's all. I think that's giving him too much credit. For one, diplomacy, I don't think he can even really speak the language. He probably just sort of mumbles and grunts and throws a fist in my direction, gives a little wink, but then falls over doing it. I think due to CK2 being easy to learn by being so old, I think CK2 was harder to learn than CK3. Like I said before, I think CK3 is a lot more simplified. There's a lot less depth for certain things. I think part of that might come from the fact it's, CK2 has an advantage of being out for longer, so it has a lot more DLC, adding more depth to it, like we were just saying with Hoi 4. We got the same event again, the roadside stall. I don't think this is the exact same peasant. No, it isn't. It's a different name, but Yudprost or Ludprost has now also set up a stall, and yet again I am going to tear it apart along with their dreams and take everything they have of value. I am a benevolent king. I will now use their money to build a forestry, because that gives us money and it makes it quicker to build buildings in future. It's also quite a cheap building compared to the other options. Never tried CK3? Never tried CK2? Is Dread in any way good? Dread is good at the surface. If you have 100 Dread, your vassals, won't, do anything against you to your face. They'll accept you as the king, but you will get a lot of plots against you. They'll go behind your back a lot, but they won't do anything to your face. So it depends how you want to play. Hello there, Rogue Enjoyer. I'm glad you could join us. We haven't been playing long, so we don't actually have many characters yet to name after viewers. So if you just be patient, I'm sure my starting character will get busy with his wife soon, and we'll get some more of you guys in the game. Thank you for the follow, by the way. I really appreciate it when someone follows as soon as they join. That's very, very kind of you. I promise I will put your name in the game as soon as Venidra is also in the game, whenever that can happen. This is exactly the stream I'm looking for, not for the name though, but for learning the ropes of the game. Well, I think that's actually why Hoi here liked my streams when I first started, because I was basically walking through why I did everything in CK2, and I mean, it seemed to work out that way. I was just explaining everything I did and reading out all the events. Speaking of, Lost in Thought, my son and heir, Hoi Blobvis, is an unusually calm child. When the others play their wild games, Hoi Blobvis often withdraws to some silent corner. He does not speak a lot, but I can tell he is always thinking about something. I wonder what's on his mind. Hoi Blobvis is often lost in thought, trying to understand the world around him. Good for you, Hoi. You're a silent thinker. And you are leaning towards stewardship like I expected, so I'm going to set that, I'm going to set up a stewardship-based education for you, because that'll jive better with your trait. Which you can see here, pensive children often do well with the stewardship education. And though you don't have to do it yet, because the game will tell you when you have to do it, you can still assign a guardian from a young age, and I like to do it now to get it out of the way. We have a decent education in stewardship ourselves. Our courtier has better, but if we teach the son and heir directly, we'll have more agency in events surrounding him, so we can control how he is taught growing up. Yeah, and I'm playing Cornwall too, so I got lucky finding this stream. Oh wow, okay. Well, yeah, that is fun then. We'll get to compare our games side by side. I hope you have success in yours. I was saying to Hoi, I've actually played a Cornwall game doing more or less the same thing earlier this year, but it was a little bit of a meme on this channel to have done a Cornwall game, so I'm doing it, basically to do round 2 of that. I'm going to aim to conquer all of Britain, as you do, and then there's going to be the added caveat that I will be converting to Lollardy at some point. The reason being for that is that in the original game I played, I ended up playing as a Lollard. Just for no specific reason other than that I didn't like the Pope, and now it's stuck, so keep an eye out for when we're converting to Lollardy. It's not even that great a religion in CK3, but, it's a bit of a meme. Oh, great. Now we have no steward. Well, I tell you what, I'd rather have a steward than a chancellor, because at the moment the chancellor is only giving us prestige, whereas the steward can focus on increasing development in our capital. By increasing development, it's a bit of a longer term investment, so over time you'll gain more taxes and more levies from the county as it becomes more developed, versus the short term increase of just collecting taxes and hoping for a 2.5% chance of an event. I like to stream because of your hungry, dying, and also talking with chat. I mean, downside of like getting more people on to watch you on Twitch is that it's harder to talk with chat. Like I've already missed a lot of messages, unfortunately. I could like go back and like scroll up and reread them all, but then I wouldn't be playing the game, would I? Steward with 5, your court is bad. That is the downside of playing Cornwall. 2 count is hardly anyone living here. A lot more options for Spymaster because women cannot. Oh, say a lot more options. There's 1 extra person. But yeah, women can occupy the position of Spymaster, so that, there's a few more options there. Adalbero has arrived. I accidentally, right-clicked to dismiss that, but we can see him here. He is a good commander. He is a German that has come from abroad. We could recruit him and make him our knight, but it's quite expensive. I'm not sure we want to spend the money on a knight, because at the moment we're going to focus on building up Cornwall first, getting some buildings in place, getting a nice economic base before we can start expanding. Bit of a slow burner start, but it's a lot more stronger foundation if we do this. He probably can't even count. Yeah, you're right. I mean, as a diplomat, he wasn't great. As a steward, he's not great, but he's all we have. He's definitely not becoming our marshal, because our current marshal is marginally better. He's a better chancellor than him, but again, 11 marshal, I'd rather have that than a chancellor. That was because Half-Life 2, 1 more option is better than nobody. Yeah, that is true. Our betrothed has come of age, so we can now marry this Welsh princess, Nest Vert Rodri Abervraw. I don't know. I mean, I imagine there's not many streamers who wouldn't butcher trying to read Welsh names. To the impressive Petty King Mechbots of Cornwall, I gladly accept your marriage proposal. You will be joined with my daughter Nest in holy matrimony. May God grant you long life and many children. I hope so too, so we can start naming these chat members. Him reminding me we've got an empty council position. Nothing I can really do about that yet. I think my issues are with making vassals and giving people the right things and such. They always hate me. Vassal management is a little bit of a difficult curve to get a grasp on in Crusader Kings, but once you know what you're doing, it's pretty simple. Like, it's the same rule basically every game. You just follow the same structure, and I'll explain that in a little bit, hopefully. With my marriage to Petty Queen Nest, the realm expects us to throw a suitably extravagant wedding celebration. It is well within my right to collect a royal aid duty as part of this, but some may consider it tasteless to levy an extra tax during a time of jubilation. So this event is just a choice between gold or prestige. Gotta take the gold. Of course I will collect it. Who pays for their own wedding? Exactly. Toilet paper when? No toilet paper. That is a point. I do need to make a list somewhere. I have toilet paper on hand, but I will look and see if I have a notepad first, because I'd rather not write on some toilet paper again. Ask gold from the Pope. The game would tell me if I could do that, because CK3 actually gives you a notification here saying you can ask for gold from the Pope when that is an option. We can see now that he wouldn't, because first of all we can't afford it. We don't have 250 prestige. And then he wouldn't give us the gold anyway because we're already wealthy, he doesn't like us, and he doesn't want to give away gold in the first place. He has no reason to give us gold. Yeah, I have toilet paper on hand all the time because I always, blow my nose. It's just handy having it at my desk. I prefer toilet paper to tissues, don't ask me why. I'm just gonna check my drawers for a notepad. Got a portable CD drive, some tape. Blow your nose. Yeah, I'm not kidding. You dirty little heathen. It is for blowing my nose. I have a problem with my sinuses, so I constantly have to blow my nose. I have 3 different nose products as well. I have some Sudafed for nasal spray, whatever, to help clear a blocked nose. I have another prescription blocked nose nasal spray. And I have a little bottle of Albus oil for inhaling to clear my nose. I have a lot of problems with my nose. Leave me alone. At the end of my Spymaster Guinevere's latest report, she pauses for a moment. There is something you should know about your marshal. Oh, we like our marshal, though. Materiana, who is our marshal, and Guinevere, which is the woman who is talking to me, are engaged in an illicit affair. So our Spymaster has just come to us saying... What? She's like basically confessing to us that she's having an affair with the marshal? It's a little bit... I'm pretty sure this is due to a lack of... like, courtiers. Like, she would probably normally pick another random woman in the court to be having sex with the marshal, but since there aren't many women in the court, she has chosen herself. The very thought disturbs me. We could blackmail him now to get a hook. I'd do it if it was a strong hook, because then that wouldn't ever expire and you can reuse it, but for a weak hook, there's no point now. It'll just end up expiring, because I've got no reason to blackmail him, basically. There's nothing he can give me. As for the woman, the spy master, she is in the exact same boat. No money, nothing to give us, even if we did blackmail her. Sorry, I just had a little, like, brain fart then. Become a Fallout Ghoul when? Never, hopefully. Rather not, because I can't imagine that's a very healthy thing. Still can't get a chance. Oh yeah, I was looking for a notepad. That's why I got lost for a second. I could have sworn I put someone like one in a box. Just make them marry. You know what? That is a good idea. Let's make their true love come true. Spymaster and Marshal. Their love affair is now not an affair. That's nice. Husband and wife. Marshal and Spymaster. Well, that's nice. It would seem the King of Wessex is fabricating on us, and his Chancellor... Not Chancellor, his Bishop did a bad job, so instead we got a claim on him. Oh, it wasn't the King of Wessex, it was this guy, apparently. Not sure why he'd be fabricating on us. Wessex doesn't have any allies. Together with Wales, we have 3,000 men, so we outnumber them. He can probably afford mercenaries in a bit, but so can we. So you know what? Yeah. We're gonna do it. First war of the stream, pretty early on. Very unexpected. But you know, you gotta seize any opportunities you get, so... What a nice ally. This dick doesn't like us enough, so he isn't willing to join the war. I can't afford to give him a present. I'll give him Excalibur. Will he join now? He'll join now. Okay, we had to give away our only possession, but he's willing to join the war now. If we didn't do that, we would have lost and had to pay 100 gold, and frankly, it would have just been embarrassing, so... Don't worry, Hoy, there's plenty of them laying around somewhere. If you're playing a Viking and raiding Britain, you'll pick up like 6 in like 1 year, like just of raiding various counties. They're all over the place. Technically speaking, we could also call in Brittany, just by virtue of being distant relatives. I mean, they wouldn't accept, but we could do it if they would accept. Also, I forgot to hire a court physician. Even when you're small and poor, and you're not hiring any of these fancy court positions, it's always worthwhile to have a court physician on hand, because you never know when sickness will strike, and it's usually best to give this to people who are focused on learning, so it often ends up just being your bishop. Sometimes it's nice to give it to your wife or your heir, though, because if you give it to your wife, and she eventually develops the physician trait, she gets a higher learning, which in turn means you get a bit of that learning as well, because you get some of your spouse's attributes, like a share of them. And then if you give it to your son, you're setting up your heir to have a little bit of extra learning as well. But we're just going to give it to the bishop because he's like the best chance we have. We'll get it back when we stab them in the back. One day. Yes. Very good. I'm not going to raise an army straight away because Wessex is probably going to raise an army and then they'll just gun straight for us and they outnumber us 2-1. So I think we'll wait for the Welsh army to arrive and then we'll join up with them. Another advantage of us moving our capital to Cornwall proper is that Wessex have to go through Exeter first as well. The worthless petty king mechbots. Of course I shall join you in this war. Our foes shall learn to fear the men of Gwynedd. Still feels wrong saying Gwynedd, but pretty sure that is more correct pronunciation than Gwynedd. What a nice guy. I know. It's... I mean, you wouldn't speak any better to your own allies, would you? You got to address them like that. God forbid you treat your friends nicely. And now the idiot is going to spend 20.4 gold on embarking, I think, for no reason. And it actually is for no reason. So, genius move by the AI here. They had their army. They decided to embark it into sea for a cost of 10% of the army size, so that's like 20.2 gold. And then they're immediately landing again, so they paid the gold for no reason, and they have this recently disembarked buff when they've landed. Here it is. Recently disembarked, they have a advantage penalty if they get into a battle now. Genius AI. Calls you worthless after you gave them Excalibur. And even then, that's like, we should have had the alliance in the first place. He was just not honouring it, because he's a dick. Still no options for Chancellor. I guess... Oh, what's this? There's an army of Swedish raiders here, which might end up just killing the Wessex army for us, if we're lucky. They're probably just gonna raid this church and fuck off, though. I don't need to sway him now, because he's already in the war. This is worrying. I want to raise my army and join up with him as soon as possible, but I'm worried that he's going to be willing to cancel his siege just for the sake of beating me if I raise right here. And I'd rather not spend money to embark and then land again like he just did for no reason. You know what, even if we do get beaten, it's not the end of the world. Unless they stack wipers. We'll suffer a bit of attrition to cross this land without sieging the castle, but I'm willing to do that once for the sake of joining up armies. And the AI has now also clicked on that there is a friendly player army for him to join, so he's heading our way as well. I will laugh if they capture you. The AI can't capture me in battle because I'm not leading it, because I'm a piss pawn excuse for a knight. And they can't capture me in this siege because that's not my capital. Right now, the only way the AI can capture me, which would be very embarrassing, is if I'm not leading an army and they fully siege the capital, which is where I am. Like, if you click this, it goes to your location. It's a bit hard to see, but I am there. I'm in Launceston. And it looks like they're not going to attack me, and even better, the Welsh army is going to take the attrition penalty for me. So I'm just going to stand here, wait for them to join up. They're going to try and embark. They might get away. Oh no, they cancelled it. Okay, so it looks like they're accepting the fact that they're going to fight now. So they're trying to pick the terrain, which is a clever idea because they're heading for these hills. By being the defender in the hills, they're getting +5 advantage, which is better than if they were to fight in the forest, which is only +3. Either way, it's gonna suck for us. But, you know, the hills are going to especially suck. But it looks like we're actually going to catch them while they're in the hills, so that's nice, I guess. Pretty even split. I'm not feeling good because from the start they got a slight advantage since we joined earlier than the rest of the army. But it is leaning slightly towards them from the get-go. Oh, we've lost this already. There's no way it's going to turn around from ticking in their direction. I blame the terrain. If we were in the plains, that wouldn't have happened. So let's just, count our losses and retreat. Unfortunately, retreating is something that AI doesn't seem very good at, so they're going to fight to the last man. This war might be a loss, lads. Not a great start. But at least we still outnumber them, if only by a couple of hundred. Unless they recover their army now. Which they very well might. And what perfect time. King of Sweden has decided he's going to raid our capital now. Which is very annoying, because he could end up kidnapping our wife, kidnapping our son, kidnapping our brother, basically anyone that's living in the capital. Except me, I think. I don't think they can kidnap rulers. God, I hate being raided. Yeah, that's the worst part about picking the 867 start. It's never game over. It's not game over until you've lost your last county. Even if things look grim, you can probably still recover if you play your right cards. Someone died. I just, by habit, I accidentally just dismissed it straight away, so I didn't see who. But somebody did die. We don't have a mum. We were spawned solely from our father's groin. No mother was involved, so it wasn't a mother. I don't really know how to find out. I'll just try avoid doing that again in future. The long-lasting dynasty lasted 5 years. Nah, we live on in Brittany even if we game over, because these guys are our distant relatives. This is a grim situation, I won't lie. I think that we'd get the exact same result, if not worse, if we just try picking the battle again in Exeter, because they still have the defensive bonus, and that's clearly better than us outnumbering them. So I think the best thing we can do right now is just siege their castle while they're sieging at theirs. Maybe you capture someone. If you siege their capital, yeah, we could. But to siege the capital, we'd either have to sail there, which costs money, or we siege these two counties first, because if we just try walk there... Oh no, there's only one attrition penalty. Alright, good shout, we're just gonna go straight for... Oh no, there's the second. So we'd lose 100 from attrition from crossing this first county without occupying it, and then we'd take another 100 from crossing into this second one. The AI might follow us. I think if we get far enough away, the AI will clock on. And you are probably right, this might be the best bet we have. The Swedish did, sort of fuck us there a bit. Because now we've got, no money in our capital. They took it all. It's a good job I didn't spend this money before starting the war. Do they have, They don't have any siege weapons, but they have a perk, I think, that's... Oh no, that's just the base siege progress. Ah, a new character. You know what that means. With a tired yet blissful smile, Nest presents me with a perfect little son. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? I shall call you Venidra. I'm afraid viewers do not get a choice of gender. They will be assigned who I assign them to. So Venidra, I'm sorry, but you're my son, like it or not. Looks like you're also going to be inclined towards stewardship. And then next up, I'll give it to Rogue Enjoyer. Time to kill my sibling. Venidra Abmechbot. Yeah, and we also have Hoiblobvis Abmechbots. Exeter has fallen. They're now going to go for the capital. But we should take their capital first. Bad news is we can't capture the king because he's actually leading his army personally. Best we can hope for is war score from the capital. Maybe we capture his heir. No, we can't even do that because he's landed his heir. As if the AI's done that. So we can't capture his heir because his heir's in his own county ruling already at the age of 2. So we can't even get that. I think the best we're doing now then is just getting a bit of war score from taking his capital and just being a bit of a thorn in the side. Technically speaking, I just realised they didn't have the defensive bonus of being in the forest because they were in the capital. It's a little bit of an awkward rule to explain, but they get the defensive bonus in like any county tile, province, I guess you can call it, unless that province is a castle, in which case it depends on who owns it or who controls it rather. So if we were to fight in this province, and I was there first, even if I was there first, they would be the defender because technically they control it. Whereas there, if I was the defender there, now that they occupy it, they're the controller, so they would get the defender bonus. So I could snipe the defender bonus if I picked a fight with them now in the capital. I don't know how well I explained that. It's a bit of a awkward thing to word, but I did my best. All of that because the first battle went downhill. Well, even if we lose this war, which we very well might do because we're ticking towards defeat now, we'll just... Oh, we're not even paying 100 gold anymore. It's only 59 gold now. I can live with that. If this was single player, I might actually consider just surrendering right now, just to save time and money. But, you know, for the sake of entertainment and learning my lesson, I'm going to go down in a blaze of glory. The AI isn't following me for some reason, and I've lost my entire army to attrition from crossing the country, as you just saw. That's why it's bad to just go straight for the capital and then especially go back without occupying everything in between. Because I just lost, what, like 500 men to attrition? Yeah, there is like no hope now of us winning this, even if the Welsh get here. Two people left. Those two people are my knights Gurkhan and Materiana, our marshal. So it would actually be really bad if he died. Sad, very sad. Dishonor before death, maybe? I think so. The loathsome petty king mechbots, tales of your misdeeds are told from Ireland to Cathay. Your ill-conceived war was doomed from the start. I agree to put an end to your folly and accept your surrender. Signed, King Alfred of Wessex. Lesson learned. We learned that our supposed ally is a selfish dick. We learned not to underestimate the terrain we're fighting in. We learned that Cornish knights cannot defeat the Wessexian, maybe? Wessex's knights, that'll do. Yeah, don't worry about the army, Hoy, that'll recover soon. We're already back up to 298. What do you know? Another roadside stall has appeared. We've had this event 3 times now. In the 5 years we've been playing. As the same character, we've gone around and smashed up 3 roadside stalls now and taken everything they had that was valuable. Oh, that's right. I forgot to change our marshal to increase control in the capital. Since the Vikings raided it, we lost a bit of control, therefore we lost some money and men, what we gained from it, because we basically don't control the land anymore. We need to reassert our presence. Can take the administrator trait, which is nice. Gives us 1 diplomacy, 3 stewardship, and vassal opinion, which doesn't matter because we have no vassals. Oh, hi, how's it doing, Diamondson 1? Good to see you. Are you having a good day, or have you had a good day, depending what time it is for you? Good, good. Yeah, I'm not bad myself. Bit disappointed that we just lost a mage battle and then lost the war, but on the whole, I'm not doing bad, thanks. I've got a cup of tea, what I forgot about, and that's now going cold. I just also nearly knocked a glass of water off the desk. Thank you very much for the follow, that's much appreciated. Evidently playing CK3 has been much more successful than Half-Life 2, but I'm still going to continue Half-Life 2 because I can't just stop playing the story now, I'm right in the middle of it. So I'll continue that tomorrow when I stream. But I'll definitely be streaming more CK3, and hopefully you guys will all be there again, and we can continue our Cornwall game. For now, though, we shall be continuing. I am not stopping yet. Make no mistake. We should probably just build more buildings. I think it's fair to say we jumped the gun a bit with that war. We should have just stuck to the original plan of, you know, building some good foundations, playing tall a bit, and getting a good economic base before we start looking outwards. We should have relied... The reason why I got the alliance in the first place with like a strong person was for defensive purposes, mainly. So if Wessex got greedy and wanted to conquer us, we would at least have them to help us. But, you know, it's an added benefit that you can use them in an offensive war. Sure, we had to bribe them with Excalibur, but... God, I bet he's loving that. I mean, the ironic thing is, even he can't use it because he doesn't have a court to put it in either, because he's not a king. So it literally just was me giving him a sword what I couldn't use. Neither can he. And it was just, I guess, to show I have no self-worth. I don't know. I've said it like twice now, and I'll say it again. He's just a dick. He's a good character. He's Rodri the Great. He's diligent, ambitious. He's also impatient. He's got very good stats. That 25 martial is probably why he's got such a big army for just, like, Wales. But, yeah, diligent and ambitious are, like, two of my favourite traits. Diligent because 2 diplomacy, 3 stewardship, 3 learning. It gives you a decision where you can develop your capital faster, which I love doing. Ambitious is good because, you know, just +1 in everything, even prowess. Opinion of Liege is annoying if you have a vassal that's ambitious because of that, but easy way around that is just don't give ambitious people lands. Stumbling over my words a fair bit now. Probably because I've been streaming a while. Ooh, I like this event. This is a wholesome event. Because it's the 1st of January. We're in the middle of a a Cornish winter. It comes from nowhere, hitting me clean in the temple. I didn't even see the projectile coming, much less try to dodge, and for a moment I stagger, blinded. A sharp peal of giggles rings out behind me and I whirl. Hoiblobvis rises from his hiding spot, another snowball already clutched in his vicious little hand. Hoi, how could you do this? You hit me with a snowball. Good shot, come here you little rascal. We just have a nice little bonding session, a little friendly snowball fight. Oh no, you got me. And I just take the prestige loss and let you pelt me with snowballs. Head off, kill him. I regret that isn't an option in this event. You think you can face me in Snow War? Child or no, this is a battle and you intend to win. Martial challenge against Hoiblobvis. And the awkward thing is, Hoi here is apparently just as good at leading armies as we are, as a 7-year-old, so he actually has a 60% chance to beat us in a snowball fight where we are unironically trying to beat him. I'm busy, Hoi, go bother someone else. Weird double click on my mouse then. I don't think I want to risk embarrassment and opinion loss with my son and heir to try and beat him in a snowball fight. So I'll just have a nice, fair, even snowball fight with him here. Good shot. Come here, you little rascal. Beat him. I can't beat him. He's better than me. Thing is, he's not even like a tactician either. He's being raised in like stewardship like I was. It's just, I guess he's destined to be greater than me from the get-go. Give him the belt. 7-year-old, same as a 30-year-old. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best for... I'm not even 30, I'm 43, actually. Did I... Oh no, I thought I had another son what I like forgot about something, but it's just Venidra, who we are still waiting to get their first trait. I'll speed it up a little bit. I kept it on speed 3 because we got into that war, but now we're at peace, so... I normally play on speed 4, but actually my like most recent off-stream game is like Romania. I've like been playing on speed 3 just to try and take it in a bit more, because after so many hours of playing the game, you stop reading the events because you recognize them at an instant, and you just like which choice is the best from the get-go. So I just wanted to like circumvent that a bit and force myself to read things and enjoy it all more. And I found I did that well when I played on speed 3. Well, I guess because less stuff was happening. Game becomes overwhelming at higher speed. Well, there are some people that play on speed 5 and then just pause every second. I actually used to be one of those people. I think it comes from, like, maybe just, like, being impatient and wanting to get on with the game and accomplish stuff, so you put it on a higher speed so things happen quicker. But it can just be overwhelming, like you say. And I think Speed 4's a good compromise. Like, Speed 3 can be slow at times when nothing happens. Speed 5 is the opposite. Too much happens too quickly. Speed 4's a nice in-between, I feel. We're not going to recruit him as a knight because we are poor and we want buildings. Same as before. Eventually you become average Paradox gamer and think more green text equals good, less green equals bad. Yeah, that's exactly it. You just have a quick scan of the options, you know which one's best already just because there's more green words in it. What's this? Our marshal is... Is that our marshal? Yeah. Earldom of Devon gained organised service, which is 5% more tax for 5 years, because... No reason, I guess. It says despite him having a poor martial skill, but he's average, so it's not that bad. It's barely even a joke, because it's way too real. I mean, yeah, it is the same in, like, every Paradox game as well. Like, every... Like, EU4, CK3... Even like Victoria 2 to an extent, though that's a little bit harder to do it with because there's a lot more to consider in that, and green isn't always good. But, you know, in all of them there is some degree of just high speed, not bothering to read things anymore, and clicking event because numbers higher or text greener. We'll go for this because we're trying to build buildings, so it'll help us if the buildings we're trying to build are cheaper. Still no option for a Chancellor. We could cave in and hire one of these knights, especially Louis, who I didn't realise would be cheap. Yeah, let's do that, because now we have Louis, this Frenchman, as a knight, and a competent one at that. He's a military engineer, he's got good prowess because he's a legendary blade master, and now we also have an extra man to fill spots in our council. So, Louis is best at stewardship. Our current steward can do either stewardship or chancellor, so we'll do that. And then we'll put Louis here. And we're back at full capacity. Other than EU4 Meteor, which is literally a war of which option you choose. If you have, like, certain traits, I think, like... I can't remember which one it is, but, like, I think if you have... Maybe it's the Scholar trait. If you have the Scholar trait, then you can pick, like, an extra option where you gain stability or something from being enlightened. But, yeah. Building buildings, that's treason. Only war. We can only wage war successfully if we have buildings to train our men in. And to pay for them. Come closer. I have a story I wish to tell you, my wife, Petty Queen Ness says, beckoning me towards the bonfire. This is a new event. This comes with the new DLC, because I've never seen it before. It's a story of when my mother, Angara, died in her sleep. Yes, my mother. Nest puffs her chest and continues to tell the story as the flames from the bonfire lick the night sky. Dear mechbots, remember the moral of my story. Death comes for us all. Make sure it comes to your foes before it comes for you. What a story, Nest. 50-50 chance of diplomacy or intrigue. Or we just bond with the Queen. I fancy getting a friendship with the Queen. If she likes us more, then there's a more of a chance that we'll have kids with her. Speaking of, she is 7 months pregnant. So you will be in the game any minute now, Rogue Enjoyer. And then after that, it will be you, Diamond Sun. But we can only have babies so fast, so be patient. Where am I at? One trait, gain some admin. a real heated discussion of what you choose. Like, it's the economy, fools. I choose. I wish I lived in more enlightened times. I think normally. That reminds me of the gem of do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? I'm not familiar with that. You're going to have to enlighten me. I can't quite make out what that emote. Oh, baby. It is a daughter, so this shall be Rogue Enjoyer. With a tired yet blissful smile, Nest presents me with a perfect little daughter. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? Rogue Enjoyer. Rogue Enjoyer merch mech box. Oh, then you never noticed the shitstorm around Lord of the Rings series. I haven't started watching Rings of Power. I'm a bit on the fence about starting it because I can't gauge whether it's good or not because there does seem a bit of controversy over some little things and some genuine things. But I like Lord of the Rings enough that I'll probably end up caving in and giving it a go just so I can see for myself. It's bad? Oh no. That's not good. I mean, generally the things I've heard haven't been good, so the writing is bad and Galadriel is so bad. That's very disappointing. Luckily for me, I didn't have high hopes to begin with. Like, as soon as they said they were doing a Lord of the Rings show, I was like, oh god, this isn't going to end well. Especially in the aftermath of Game of Thrones, it's like, you can't help but have lower standards now. Yeah, shame. Worse than the She-Hulk series. The only thing I know about that is the twerking, which I don't even know if that's real. Is it real? I sort of, like, hoped it was a meme, but I saw, like, a thing on, like, a Marvel YouTube channel, like a recommended video of clips, so I think it might be real. I dread that it is real. Lively livestock. And as additional payment in a recent trade, I find myself in possession of a large herd of cattle. I have been assured that the animals are of the highest quality, but the question of what should be done with them remains. For this event, I normally gamble and try and breed the herd to get a large cattle herd, because then you get 20% development growth in the capital. Though there is always the risk of prestige loss and no boon. The default is just a normal cattle herd, which is 10% dev growth, which is still good, mind you. It's just I'm a gambling man, so I always go for the 20. And then the third is always good if you just need a little cash injection. You can just sell the hides for 50 gold. I think that number changes depending on your income, so we're quite poor as is, so we only get 50, but I think if you're already rich, you can get like 300 from it. But no, we're going to gamble. We're going to try and get a large cattle herd. My breeding project is successful. The Earldom of Cornwall has gained large cattle herd for 15 years. We love dev on this channel. We dev our province as well. Time to read chat again. I guess it's okay if you like Lord of the Rings anyway. On par, I guess. At least it has more budget. More budget doesn't necessarily mean better. Not automatically, anyway. I guess it's real. No idea what's wrong with modern movies and all that, but the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime is good. I don't really watch anime, so... I mean, sometimes, if I'm, like, just feeling tired, and I want a very, like, cozy, lazy, like, early night in bed, I might watch, like, a Studio Ghibli movie or whatever, just because it's cozy, and it's low effort to watch, and, like, some of it's nostalgic, like, Spirited Away is when I watched when I was little, and I still, enjoy it for that. But, we can unlock a Dynasty Legacy here, because we've built up 750 renown, and at the moment we are the head of our dynasty, instead of Brittany for some reason. Oh, because we have more men than them, but only just. So, here, I guess if we're doing, like, a live stream game, we probably want to do, like, the most meta and gamey stuff, so we can actually achieve our goals, in which case it would be the blood route. That way we can get better congenital traits on our characters. Though the AI did already set us on the path of erudition, which... I mean, it's alright. I like this one because dev growth. I'm obsessed with dev growth. The piety and clergy opinion is okay. Especially if, like, the piety, if you have a pious character, then you build up piety quicker, so you can ask the Pope for gold more often. So that's useful for that. Dislike anime, but that's me. The sets are fine, but the rest is ugh. kin, more family. Kin is... I only picked that for like the first time on my Romania game, and I think I'm going to keep it to that. I don't really desire more. Actually, no, you make a point. I do need more family because I need more characters to name after viewers. But it could get overboard very quickly. Blood because incest. That is a compelling argument. I am going to pick Blood, though, because it's a little bit cheesy, but I do want to do well quicker in this game, so I'm just going to go for the gamiest one, which happens to be Blood. I like good congenital traits. I'm probably one of the few people that doesn't normally pick it just for the sake of, like, roleplay or to have more of a challenge. I think most people do always go for that one straight away, every time. Quite satisfied. My son Hoiblobvis has been asking me for a toy boat for a long time, and I told him I would get one for him in 3 months if he displayed more focus in his studies. He responded that he was fine with his current dedication to his studies, reward or no reward. Damn, Hoy. My motivation to try and get you to work harder didn't work. You're just that lazy. Content, fickle, trusting. None of these traits are particularly good. Content is good for AI vassals, because it means they're probably not going to act against you. But I think fickle is probably the best in this situation. Actually, diplomacy would be nice. Oh, that gives diplomacy as well anyway. I'm going to do fickle for you, Hoy. Hoiblobvis changes his mind more often than not, making him hard to predict. He's a better fighter than you now. Oh, poor Marshall. He's already outshining us at the age of 10. Nest is pregnant again, so that means we get to put Diamondson in the game soon. Melor, a free tenant renting some of my land in Devon, has pulled in an exceptional harvest this season due to his meticulous planning. He wishes to use some of his profits to purchase a piece of my estate from me so that he can build upon his success and grow more crops next year. We might actually hire this guy to our court here because he's a good character. Forget farming, a man like him should be in my court. He likes us and we get him in our court. He is an intelligent character, so he has pretty good stats. I don't normally pick that because I normally have decent councillors anyway, and I like the other options better. The other option being he can just pay me for the land, so I get 50 gold, but then I lose a bit of control in Devon. But then Devon also gets dev growth, which, as I've said a million times already, I love. Or the land in Devon is mine and mine alone. That's only really useful if you've got low control, which we do. So we could actually get something from all 3 of these options here. There is something to be gained, just different things. We're currently relying on Louis here with 8 stewardship as our steward, but 22 is good, and he is young, so we would have him for a long time. I think we're going to have to recruit him to our court. It's too good to pass up. He's going to be a knight as well, which is nice. Sod off, Louis. We don't want you anymore. We want Melor. Cornish born and bred as well. Gone fishing. My wife, Ness, stops me in the corridor, grinning from ear to ear. In her hands are 2 fishing poles. Come fishing with me today, dear husband. I promise you will love it, she exclaims. It has been a while since I took a break and escaped the hustle and bustle of the castle. I will catch the fabled white carp. Gotta be that. You have a great trip. Petty Queen Ness gained 20 opinion of you. Petty Queen Ness became your friend. How wholesome. And as of the newest update, you can now see that we bonded because we went on a pleasant fishing trip. It actually tells you why you become friends with someone now, which it didn't before. I like that. Before it used to just say you had an enemy or you had a friend, but it didn't say how you got them. So you could have been left wondering if you're playing as someone who had them before your previous character died. But now you know. Which reminds me... Oh god. Okay, let's do this first. something in common. I'm happily sulking at the bathhouse, sharing deep reflections and salacious jokes with Prince Rodri. Oh, this is our dickhead ally that... Okay, so for some reason we're bathing together now. As I feel all tension leaving my body, I realise that it's not just the warm water loosening my muscles. I am genuinely having fun. Beer belly in common. Yeah, look at that, I'm like stroking his arm. I think there's more here than just friendship. And it's all because of Roger's company. Until we discovered our common passion for bathhouses, we hadn't had any chance to really interact or get to know each other that well. Now I really look forward to our regular rendezvous there, as they are always filled with laughter and merriment. Have we truly become friends? Indeed, a toast to Rodri. Maybe now he'll actually join our wars without us having to bribe him first. We became friends because we soaked together in a bathhouse in Cornwall. Can't say I've seen many better sources of friendships before. That's a pretty good origin for people to become friends. What? Oh, we're no longer Dynasty Head again. That seems to be, like, going back and forth quite a lot. King of Britain is not great. With a tired yet blissful smile, Nest presents me with a perfect little daughter. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? This is, of course, Diamondson 1. Congrats, you're in the game, Diamondson. I don't know if you're even still here because my view count's dropped a fair bit now. But we now have Hoy, who is the heir, Venidra, who is the younger son, Roganjoy, who is my eldest daughter, and now Diamondson, who is my youngest daughter. We've seen each other naked. Besties, of course, yeah. Once you've seen your homie's dick, there's no going back from that. You're at a whole new level of friendship there. Become the Dynasty Head again, of course. Oh, we need to use our Marshal to increase counting control. I forgot about that. And we need to sway someone else now as well. So I'll just explain what I did there, actually. So when looking to sway people, the first thing I always go to is my own council, specifically my Spy Master. Because if anyone's plotting to kill me, the Spy Master is the strongest person that can do it. Like, they have, like, the best odds. So it's always good to make sure they like you before, like, basically anyone else. Then I default to the rest of the council, because they're, like, all your other closest people. They're all in pretty good standing with me, good enough anyway. And then I would normally look to my vassals, because your vassals are then probably most important, because if a vassal likes you, they're probably not going to rebel. However, since we don't have any vassals, I then default to my third option, which are knights. And I guess knights make up like the final tier of remotely powerful people in your court, as in just people who have a job. And you can see here there are a few which... I mean, there's Louis who isn't happy because I fired him. So we can start to make it up to him. For all I know, he could be plotting to kill me right now, and I just haven't found out about it. So if I sway him, it could stop that. Let's get another building construction perk here. We're not even really getting to use these perks, because I haven't had any money since losing that war. I can already tell what that clip is, Hoy. She sent a question mark as soon as I said it. Under the stone pine. In the scorching midday heat, they sit in the shadow under a great stone pine, playing on lutes and flutes. They sing in many tongues, yet my heart can understand every word. I can hear them from my balcony, and they stir my soul. Yet I do not know the identity of these musicians, and when I leave my lofty halls and approach the tree, they are gone. Are they sent from heaven? Are they phantoms devised by Satan to ensnare me? Perhaps not, but what am I to do with these damned feelings? Normally I go for so beautiful, but I can see here we're impatient, so it would actually stress us out. You know, there aren't really many good rewards from this event. It's awed by beauty, which is a bit of stress gain decrease. I should sponsor more musicians, which costs money, but you do gain prestige and courtier opinion. Which does relate to what I was just saying about going through who you're going to sway. If you have courtiers that don't like you and they're all in like a plot to kill you, something like this can just be good because it's like a blanket opinion increase. And then, of course, enough! I will have that damn tree chopped down. I don't like feelings. Aversion to joy, martial per stress level. So the more stressed you are, the better you are at leading armies. Dread gain per tyranny. So the more of a tyrant you are, the more fearful you become. You lose stress because you're callous. Well, I do. And the Earldom of Cornwall gains Great Pine Tree chopped down for 10 years, which the peasants don't like. We could sponsor more musicians. I don't think we need to worry about losing stress. I don't want to upset the peasants, and we don't really gain anything from this because we're not stressed out and we're not a tyrant. So it would literally just be losing stress at the cost of unhappy peasants. So I'm just going to spend the money here and get that blanket opinion increase for everyone in my court. Which is all these people. It does include your own family as well, by the way, I think. Maybe? Am I missing it? Oh, investing in music plus 10, yeah. So even our, like, 1-year-old daughter, Diamondson, appreciates that we're investing in music. The family craft. I'm just finishing up the day's business in my council chambers when my wife, Petty Queen Nest, saunters in with her sister Ellen, eagerly at her heels. I put down the ledger as I was just reading, knowing no good can come from this unexpected visit. Nest hesitantly remarks upon my appearance. My husband, you are a mighty and powerful petty king, but some do not yet give you the respect you deserve. Cough, Roderick, cough. Mind you, we are friends now, so maybe that's gonna change. You need something to demonstrate your authority. My sister could smith a fine set of regalia that would reflect your status. Status? Status. Sponsor her and see how her creation will improve your mood. So, sister-in-law is currently inspired to make some nice jewels, which, we could go for. Unlike Excalibur, we could actually use regalia. We have a slot for that on our person. Everyone wants money from you. I know. They're just extorting me at this point. They're taking advantage. It is high time I garner some respect. So it would cost 50 to fund the sister-in-law's inspiration. But the wife would be happy with us if we did that. Or, we've not a penny to spare on such luxuries. You know what? I'm actually going to put us into debt here because I do want the regalia. Heresy. Waldensians in Corinthia. Duke Leotbert of Corinthia has announced to the world that he and his vassals have converted to Waldensianism. So this guy is over here in Austria. And he's decided he doesn't like the Pope, he doesn't like Catholics, he now believes in Waldensianism, which is a belief holding that the accumulation of wealth is an anathema that is incompatible with achieving salvation. Waldensians preach apostolic poverty as being the path to perfection and believe that priests should hold neither titles nor lands. So they're all about being poor, basically. They don't like material wealth. They're religious communists. Having become disillusioned with the teachings of the Catholic priests, the nobles of Corinthia no longer consider the clergy to be righteous and true. As Waldensians, they believe their new faith properly aligns them with the will of God, and they are distancing themselves from their former religious institutions. The wife can beat you up real good. What? Oh, she can and all. She's got 14 martial and 13 prowess, so she is actually good at, like, fighting in duels as well. We only have 4 prowess. So, like, that's the difference. Like, martial is a scale of, like, your ability to lead and raise armies, whereas prowess is more like one-to-one combat, your actual personal fighting skill. But in both cases, she still beats us by quite a bit. Even young Hoy here, who is only 11, is only 1 behind us in prowess. When Lollard? When the time is right, Hoy. What twisted mockery of our faith is this? We're not going to join him. We're going to stay Catholics, loyal and true. You can see here a couple of the other AIs are joining him, but it's mostly just people nearby. Like, I guess because they can band together. But they'll eventually convert back to Catholic, or they'll be conquered in holy wars. When Lollard, when the time is right. Blood and spit. Apparently, Venidra spit in my son Hoyblovis's food during dinner a few nights ago. Really? How could you do this? One of the cooks came upon Hoy spitting in Venidra's food in secret. That explains why Venidra has been looking a bit green during dinner the last few times. He must have been spitting in Venidra's food for days, the little sneak. So, Venidra, you spat in Hoy's food one time. So to get back at you, Hoy's been spitting in, like, every meal you've had for, like, the past week. You take it too far. Just what Venidra deserves. I can become friends with Hoy over this. I don't think that's good parenting. Saying, yeah, you deserve it. Don't be so meek, take revenge. This is... Okay, so this is for Hoy. We want Hoy to be like a good steward, maybe with a nice side bit of martial. Just turn the other cheek, my boy. I mean, deceitful's good for intrigue, but it's, you know, other than that, it's a bit awkward, actually, because you're losing piety because it's a sin. You lose diplomacy, so you're not, like, good at dealing with other people. Vengeful can be okay. That is also a sin, so you lose piety, but for that you get a bit more. So you lose diplomacy still, but you gain intrigue, you gain prowess, your dread gains higher, so people are afraid of you more easily. Hostile scheme success chance versus rivals. Deserved. You know what, I'll let you pick this, Hoy. Which one do you want? Do you want to be deceitful, vengeful, or calm? I can, like, open one up if you want to have a look at it, or if you just want to do it by name, drop which one you want. God, my tea is actually cold now. Vengeful. Vengeful it is, then. Don't be so meek, take revenge. You're now an antagonist. I would have also gone for vengeful. I figured I'd give you some agency in your own character. Inspiration, a friendly word. My friend Petty Queen Nest stops me in the hall with a beaming smile. Ah, there you are, Mechbots. I've just spoken to Lady Ellen. I heard she is forging regalia for you. I couldn't resist a visit to her shop. I talked to her about how to meet your expectations. I think you will like the results. Oh, thanks, Nest. Oh. The artifact produced through Lady Ellen's metalsmith inspiration might be of slightly lower quality. Good going, wife of mine. I also like how she said that then. She was the one that, like, had the idea and came to me with her sister wanting to do it, and then she's like, oh, I heard you funded her. My lord, the work on your precious artifact is proceeding well, my sister-in-law, Lady Ellen, seems in a very good mood today. I read that a bit weird. Oh well. I'm not making any promises, but if I manage to produce a true masterpiece, what idea would you like to guide my hand? To bring glory to my dynasty, to command respect from my underlings, to impress my paramours. Whatever. I'm gonna go for the dynasty one because I like to gain more renown, because then you can get more dynasty legacies, which are quite powerful. Like, the more of them you have, I feel like the easier the game becomes. It's usually a sign that you've played for longer as well, because each dynasty legacy you unlock costs more than the previous one. So the previous one only costs like 750, I think. Totally wrong screen there. Oh, this one. Now it costs 1,250. And it only gets more and more expensive, so it's good to have a good source of renown. Fickle Philip. I bump into a very grave-looking Lady Ellen, my metalsmith, hoping that she doesn't bring ill news of the splendid regalia she should soon have ready for me. Oh, there you are, my liege. I have hit a wall in my work. Nothing major. My ideas have gone to ground as the pressure mounts, she laughs nervously. I just need some inspiration. Mighty Petty King, might you have some prior examples I could examine? To the Great Hall. Out with the old. I show Lady Ellen around my grand hall, taking great pride in its luxury and the various riches on display. She does a few rounds of the room before returning to me, crestfallen. My liege, there is nothing here that stands out to me. Is there anything else? There must be some junk laying around. Maybe not, because 62% chance of making the quality even worse than it already is. Yeah, that 12% chance, it just ain't good enough for me. Waste of time. I guess the Great Banner will end up being a towel. It's not a banner, it's like the regalia, so it's basically like a scepter and... Oh, hang on. My sister-in-law, Lady Ellen, is no longer my courtier, so I can no longer support her dream to forge a masterpiece. Just run off. What? Well, we're not going to get it anyway because she's pissed off for some reason. I said that thing was a waste of time, but it didn't say it was going to cancel funding her. As if she's done that. She doesn't even have the money I funded, so we went into debt for no reason. Not even a towel, I know. I forgot to designate guardians and sort out the education for my other children, so... Venidra, you're naturally more inclined towards intrigue, but I prefer diplomacy people, so I'm going to change your education to diplomacy, and you will be taught by my nephew, Alan. Then we've got Rogue Enjoyer, who is pensive, like Hoy. So you shall also receive an education in stewardship by yours truly. And I don't think Diamondson will have one yet. No, still too young. Get the Excalibur. I can't. I think there's a couple ways I could get it. I could... If I picked a certain perk in one of the lifestyles, you can, like, fabricate a claim on it. Because by giving it away, it seems I've actually lost my claim on it. Yeah, I don't have a claim on Excalibur anymore, so I'd have to fabricate a claim, and then I'd have to either duel him for it, steal it, or just demand it and see if he would accept up front. I can't. I can't do it, Hoy. Literally impossible. There's, like, no way for me to just take it. I mean, if we ended up at war, and I sieged his capital, there'd be, like, a low percentage chance that I would just take it. If he had an antiquarian employed, then that would be, like, near impossible. I can declare war on Count Olaf, apparently. Oh, that's the point. I haven't been, like, looking around the map at all. East Anglia has fallen, and is now ruled by Hastein, who is a Viking that starts in control of this county in the Montague here. So he's had a bit of fun and conquered East Anglia. But who is Olaf? Olaf is over in Brittany. We can declare war on him because he's close by enough that we have a holy war cast a spell eye on him. He's a devotee of Odin. Is Wessex doing out? No, but they've got a very big army now. Definitely not a chance of taking them on now. Even with Wales' help. I'm going to end the stream shortly because we've just like passed the 4-hour mark. And it is getting late. It's 10:30 now for me. I'm getting a little bit tired. I can feel my throat starting to hurt a little bit. I'm remembering how draining it was when I used to play CK2 because you do... like, the way I've been doing it here, you do all the reading, like read all the events and explain how to play the game, and then you do the talking about the stream on top of that. It's just so much talking. Even it's like more than what I were doing for Half-Life, for sure. But I have noticed I've not allowed for like any dead air at all, even though just yesterday I was saying I need to accept that dead air is not always a bad thing. Like, I don't have to speak for every single second of the stream. Talking. Yes, talking. Hide and peek. What in the world was my son Hoiblobvis doing in that wardrobe in the servants' quarters? Playing hide and seek, he claims. He looks like a ghost, shaking, eyes wide open, staring at walls. Oh no, I know what happened. He must have seen two of the scolders plucking a duck together. The poor boy looks shocked. I would not be surprised if he will find intimacy difficult when he grows up. ASMR reading. I'll take that as a compliment. So Hoy, you were playing hide and seek and you saw a couple of servants going at it, eh? What do you make of that? Reading stream when? Unlikely. I don't like reading on my own, let alone to a stream. I say that playing Crusader Kings, reading every event that comes up, but that's different. Chaste or lustful for dear Hoy? Chaste is virtuous to Catholics, but it means it's going to be harder for him to have any children of his own when he's older, which will make things difficult if he can't get an heir. I'm tempted to make you lustful, Hoy. I'm going to wait and see what your thoughts are on the matter, though. Because, frankly, this is like 50-50 for me. I mean, both have their ups and downs. But the biggest down of being chaste is the fertility loss, like I say. 25%. Intrigue is intrigue. Learning is nice. I like learning better than I like intrigue. I'm an antagonist anyway. The Pope can suck it. You want to go for lustful. So even more sin in your life. It's gonna stress me out, man. You're not growing up how I envisioned. You're gonna give me like a mental break in a minute. I'll go for it. I'm on the edge here. You're really pushing me over my limits here, Hoy. No wonder I spit in your food. Yeah, Venidra's a nice little son. Not half the trouble Hoy's being. We need a sinner in the family. We hardly have a family, full stop. You've got your uncle Eloid here, who is my half-brother. He's honest. I guess he's callous. I'm callous. I was wondering if callous runs in the family then. I went to check me dad. Centralization. I like this perk a lot. Development growth in the realm capital, plus 0.3 a month. We've actually increased the development by 1 point since we started playing in 12 years, which isn't much, but it adds up. But, yeah, like I said, I'm going to actually, like, end the stream now, I reckon. It's been fun playing, though. I enjoyed playing Half-Life, and I enjoyed playing Crusader Kings. I'll definitely stick to this formula of, like, 2 games, maybe even more in future if I feel like streaming for longer than 4 hours. Until next time in 2024. Let's hope not. I'll hopefully go live at 6:30 UTC +1 tomorrow. So if you're in the UK, it's 6:30. I think if you're in like France and the Netherlands, it's 7:30. Or you can probably confirm that.